Hi, I'm Andy from Mr. Sheng and Tabatha's Traveling Revival. We've been working on releasing some of our secret recipes on YouTube lately, and we've always had a favorite combination of Earl Gray tea with dark chocolate. So today I'm going to teach you how to make a nice dark chocolate fudge with the flavor of Earl Gray tea. Okay, so the ingredients that we need to make this fudge are 5 deciliters of heavy cream, 3 deciliters of moscavado sugar, 2 deciliters of regular sugar. If you can't get a hold of moscavado sugar, just do 5 deciliters of brown sugar. We need 4.5 deciliters of glucose, which I always microwave a bit before I pour it out so that it becomes runny, because it's a very thick syrup. We need 4 tablespoons of cocoa, preferably of high quality. Dark chocolate, 200 grams. Again, good quality doesn't hurt anything. And then we need 100 grams of butter divided up into small pieces so that we can drop it in at the end. And that is what we need. So I did not mention the obvious ingredient of Earl Grey tea. It does not have to be fancy, but just a plain original Earl Grey tea. And we're going to start by adding our 5 deciliters of cream into a pot. And then we are going to add about 10 bags of Earl Grey tea. We're going to bring that to a boil. In the meantime, we're going to break our dark chocolate into pieces into a bowl. We do a lot of different flavors of fudge. We recently did a bacon and bourbon fudge with a lot of bourbon in it, and that was quite an amazing flavor. Working in Sweden, sea salt and licorice is a very popular flavor because Swedes love the black licorice. I recently did a chipotle fudge as well, which had a really nice smoky tone and a little bit of spiciness. But both my partner and I are very fond of combining Earl Grey with dark chocolate. You get a little bit of a bitter tone, you get the citrus from the bergamot. I think it's beautiful. Okay, I boiled the cream with all the Earl Grey tea bags in it, and I've let it sit for about a half an hour. So now I'm going to strain out the bags, so it's just the cream. And then the candy making process shall begin. So I'm just going to press those a little bit, make sure we get all the flavors out of there. You can use loose weight Earl Grey as well and strain it. It doesn't really matter, but the point is just that you get a nice thorough bergamot and black tea taste in the actual cream. So, then we add our 3 deciliters of moscavado sugar, 2 deciliters of regular refined sugar, preferably cane, 4.5 deciliters of glucose, as you can see, I've heated this and it just flows like liquid. Otherwise, glucose could take 100 years to pour out of the bottle. Just throw it in the microwave for 1 minute or something and you're good to go. And then I'm going to add molasses. Not available everywhere in the world, but It's an awesome flavor with Earl Grey and bergamot, and if you can't get a hold of it, like I said, just increase your moscavado sugar. I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of molasses. Love molasses, such an awesome product. It became popular in the US during the Great Depression when there was a ration on sugar. People started using molasses, which is a product of refining sugar, as a replacement, and they developed all sorts of awesome recipes using molasses, so that's where that comes from. Now this needs to boil, and we're going to bring it up to 116 degrees Celsius, so that takes a while. It takes a long while. I like to use a candy thermometer. You need a very accurate thermometer if you're going to do this. You do not want it to be higher than 116 or less. So I just whisk this together, bring it to a boil, and I will let it simmer. I've already placed my dark chocolate and cocoa in a bowl, and I have my butter ready. I am going to add just a little bit of sea salt. Since fudge is such a sweet product, I think that sea salt really balances out the flavor a bit. So I'm just going to add 2 pinches of sea salt. Alright, then we just wait for... So according to our candy thermometer, we've now reached 116 degrees Celsius. I will publish in the recipe all Fahrenheit and imperial system measurements. And so, what I'm going to do is, we have our mixture of chocolate, cocoa, and a little bit of sea salt. And this is the syrup made from glucose, moscavado sugar, regular sugar, Earl Grey, and molasses. And since I've hidden some tea bags in the mix, I'm going to strain this so we don't end up with a big tea bag in the middle of a piece of fudge. One thing I did not mention is you want to have a form, like a bread pan or a 9x13 pan, ready to go before you do this. I've been using professional grade plastic, which tolerates high temperatures, but for home use you could easily use wax paper or parchment paper, so that should not be an issue. But you want to be ready for it when it's time. So now I just give this a good mix. Don't splash it on you because it is hot. It will burn you like nobody's. There we go. Then, once it's mixed together, you just start adding a little bit of butter. A little bit at a time. The butter will soften the taffy so that it doesn't, or the fudge so that it doesn't get too tough or too hard to chew. And the butter also adds a little bit of salt if you use salted butter, which in my mind, when something is really sweet like fudge, I like just a touch of salt in it to kind of balance it out. The consistency seems nice. The color is good. I think this will be a success. Alright. Now, like I always say, you should always taste everything. And it's a little too hot to taste right off the bat, but let it cool a little bit. Make sure I didn't do anything too crazy with the recipe. Very nice. I'm just going to pour it into this form, or this bread pan actually. And then I'll let it cool on the shelf for a while, or on the counter. And then when it's cooled down to room temperature, I'll put it in the refrigerator. Fudge keeps for quite a while because there's so much sugar in it, but it is good to keep it refrigerated so it doesn't get too soft, and you can definitely freeze it no problem if it's something that you want to make a bunch of in advance and pull out around the holidays or something. So that's our recipe for fudge.